This video is heavily inspired by Impact Ministries. Hi, my name is Everett, and I am a Christian. I grew up in the church, so I know what I'm talking about for the most part.
Can Christians watch anime? I opened it the wrong way. So what is anime? First off, we need to know what it is to actually talk about it. So I asked ChatGPT to define it for me. ChatGPT said, anime is a style of animation that originated in Japan, with a wide range of genres for audience of all ages. The word anime originates from the English word animation. Regardless, it is distinctly Japanese. Now there are 5 main characteristics that ChatGPT cranked out. Number 1, distinct art style, exaggerated facial expressions and bigger eyes. Number 2, diverse genres, action, romance, science fiction, fantasy, horror, comedy, slice of life, etc. Diverse storytelling, all the way from lighthearted to philosophical or emotional. It comes in a bunch of different formats: TVs, movies, OVAs, and ONAs, though I don't know what an ONA is. The cultural influence is normally Japanese. However,
Anime aren't just produced by Japanese people. Other well-known Asian countries produce them as well, such as South Korea and China.
now that you know what anime is, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Some anime can be triggers for sin. 1 John 2:16-17, for everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world.
For what we're talking about, we're really mainly focusing on the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, but even more focusing on the lust of the flesh. Now this refers to your body's innate sinful desires. Now you might be asking yourself, what does that have to do with anime? The people creating these animes want to make sure that you're engaging with it as much as possible. Unfortunately, their most strongest strategy in doing so is something called fan service. Fan service is content that appeals to the audience, but in terms of anime, it usually refers to suggestive content. Now, this is not the case for every single anime, but it is something that you should be mindful of. Matthew 5:30, and if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than your whole body to go to hell.
Number 2, anime can become an idol.
Making anime an idol can also cause it to be sinful. Exodus 20:4. You shall not make yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven, above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below. If anime becomes something that gets in the way of your walk with God, that makes it a sin.
Number 3, anime can be okay for some people, but not for others. 1 Corinthians 8:13. Therefore, if what I eat causes my brother or sister to fall into sin, I will never eat meat again, so that I will not cause them to fall.
Let's say you saw this really cool show, but it had a lot of fan service. Maybe that's okay for you and you could just look past it. But you decided that you wanted to recommend this to your friend. And maybe that friend watches it and it causes them to fall into sin, which is clearly not what we want. Some anime can cause people to sin, but not others. And some anime can hurt your walk. But content ultimately affects people differently. So you need to pick and choose what's the best for you.
Number 4, anime can teach life lessons. Matthew 13:34, all these things Jesus said to the crowds in parables, and he said nothing to them without using a parable.
A parable is just another way of saying a story. And when we read the Bible, we can see that Jesus conveys a lot of messages through stories. Now when you watch anime, you see these fantastical stories getting played out. And many of them can have very strong life lessons. Seeing them played out in these shows can reinforce what they really mean. For example, I started watching this show called Sakamoto Days, which is an anime about assassins. And even though there's a lot of killing and death in that anime, the message that all life has meaning shines through. Now this is one of many examples of life lessons in anime, others being the likes of Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and Vinland Saga. In the end, anime can be a trigger for sin. Not all anime is okay for everyone, but anime can also teach valuable life lessons. So, should you watch it?
To answer that question, I have invited just some guy. His name is Jared. And I have him right with me today. I bet that's picking up the crunching.
Probably picking up nicely.
So, who do I have here with me today?
I'm Jared, as previously mentioned. I'm just a regular guy.
He's just a guy.
I
That
mean,
happens
It goes
to-
deeper than that.
Happens to watch anime.
I do.
And is also a Christian.
Yeah. He got me on anime.
I did do that.
He did do that. Sorry.
Sorry. So I cooked up some interview questions to interview just some guy. And we're gonna have a little conversation. Alright. What are some key characteristics that make anime unique compared to other entertainment mediums?
Well, number one, you got the art style, right? That's pretty given. But I'd not say number two. I would say like impact frames. You know, when you deliver a punch in cartoons, like and then you see the guy go flying, and you follow the guy that goes flying. But in anime, when you have the punch, you stick on the punch for a couple of seconds, maybe a couple frames, and you can visualize the impact. You know, they animate certain things, and it really drives home like the physical feeling of it,
Yeah.
rather than the silly, goofy, or like the motion. You know what I mean?
This is more impactful.
I literally just said that.
Yeah, okay. How do you feel about different genres of anime? What genres do you find yourself drawn to, and why?
I mean, I think I've only ever dipped into one genre of anime outside of like shonen, and that would be Komi Can't Communicate. That's the only one because I saw it on Netflix. That's technically romance, but not really. But yeah, I'm usually watching shonen, and it's a lot of like fighting stuff, as we previously mentioned. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of cool things, and I find that very appealing because it's just, you know, dudes
It's just
being
dudes.
cool, being strong, you know, aspiring for their dreams. And that's a trait that I like.
Komi Can't Communicate is a romance anime. It's not just it is a romance anime.
Man,
Man,
I don't watch it for that
what do you watch it
because
for?
it's kind of funny.
Okay. I think it's also comedy.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you ever encountered fan service, in quotation marks, in an anime series? How do you feel about it, and do you think it influences the overall message?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Whenever I see fan service, I get visibly angry
Visibly angry.
because it's just like, personally to me, and it's not just anime, it's media in general. I hate sexual content, period. The things that it does to someone's life is just horrible. You can see it in games, anime, anything. But I do believe that fan service, for the sake of sexual content, has no place in media whatsoever. And when it comes to anime, in some shows it's kind of in there and I can excuse it, you know, it's whatever. In some shows, it's too much, like Eden Zero. I stopped watching that because it's just fan service the anime.
There's a few animes that are fan service the anime.
That's one of them.
That's definitely one of them. The plot, there is no plot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there are some things where you'd be like, that could be fan service, but no, it's just story. There's a very distinct...
Like Evangelion. We love
Get outta here.
Evangelion.
No, we don't.
No one loves Evangelion.
Not even you.
Not even me.
You sent me way too many pictures of that.
I mean, the crazy part about Evangelion is that it's so dark and sad, but the community makes so much goofy memes about it. Flash one on the screen.
Now cleanse your mind with a Hunter x Hunter meme.
I'm not even wearing
Do the
Evangelion.
Snickers one.
What's Snickers one?
You'll put it on screen.
Okay. Let's talk about these shirts that we're wearing. He's wearing Pete Gone. It's just the shirt.
Gotta show the whole fit.
I'm wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho. It's actually Peak. It's older, so they're not as like... It's actually not fan service in it at all. You should watch it. And conveniently, we're both wearing shonen.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the idea that certain types of anime could be triggers for sin, as suggested in some discussions about anime content?
I mean, it's totally a thing, right? I mean, like if someone watches the wrong anime, because, you know, there's some you shouldn't be watching.
Like, for example...
Are you sure we want to do that to the audience?
I'm just gonna call out one.
I think I have a guess. Let's hear it.
It's a little program called High School
I knew it.
DxD,
I knew it.
which is a Gooner anime.
Gooner anime.
I don't care if the story is interesting or the battles are cool or the power system's cool or whatever. It is a Gooner anime. It's 99% fan service. But saying that, I'm pretty sure it's also like a commentary on teenagers and them acting like that.
I mean, they do act like that. I mean, I literally what I told you like 30 minutes ago. Are we gonna mention that?
What did you? I don't remember.
The thing that the person asked me?
No, we're not gonna mention.
Okay,
that.
good. But yeah, I think fan service can totally trigger that, because it's just like it could be way too much sexual content. It could be introducing them to something before they should even know what sex is. Sexual content is. Basically, I think that sexual content should be avoided in media, and if you want to, and that's because you're trying to do something. You know, I'm playing a game. I was playing the game on the chair over there, and does have some very interesting character design, and I do not believe that sort of character design should be in games. I think it has no place. It distracts from the current objective, which is having fun, you know, doing the combat.
Yeah.
Like, I just see polygons, right? Because I 3D model and stuff. I see edges, vertices, polygons, whatever. It doesn't affect me, but it totally does for other people because it's one of those games.
So what you're saying is you should separate that kind of content
Yeah.
from basically everything else.
Yes.
I would agree. How do you approach the issue of content that might not align with your values or beliefs, but is still a part of an anime that you enjoy? For example, One Piece, which is a very popular one, has fan service in it. No, it's not like the main aspect. It does have fan service in it. And so does almost every anime that gets released nowadays. So how do you approach watching
Here,
shows?
I'll show you. I'm watching the show on my phone.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Hit him with one of those. I have that level of self-control for the most part. And it's just like some people don't have the ability to do that, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the ability to go like, oh, that's bad, because maybe they don't recognize it's bad. And sometimes it's just like there for a little bit. Like there was one part in the first season of Hunter x Hunter that's just like panned in. Do you know the one?
I don't remember.
It was when they were dropping into that really big ravine to get that spider eagle eggs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah.
The knife wielding lady.
I'm not gonna play it.
We're not gonna play. We're not like that. We ain't like that. But yeah, that's one thing. It's just there for like 2 seconds. It's like whatever. Look over there. The first time I saw that, my dad was in the room.
How unfortunate.
So that happened. But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, that's right. Some people don't have that level of self-control. That could be the trigger that we were talking about.
Do you believe there is a risk of anime becoming an idol or overly consuming one's attention in a way that interferes with other important aspects of life?
Of course, it's like in the same way with anything else. If you watch too much anime, it's the same thing as playing too many games. Could have different effects totally, but it's the same destructive thing where you're avoiding your responsibilities, the people you care about, you know, and destroying yourself physically and mentally to the point where it's an addiction. That's what separates a dependence from an addiction. Destructive behavior. And anime could do that, but it's not the anime's fault.
So good at anything else.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of weird people that watch anime, but there's also a lot of weird people that watch everything else.
Yeah.
And play everything else.
And when it comes to trying to avoid those behaviors, it comes to either you or if you're or you as the parent. You know, I do believe that parents should moderate their children when it comes to that. When I was like in middle school, elementary to middle school, I only had 2 hours a day on weekends for video games, and then we naturally grew out of that rule, and now I play all the time. So try to, if you're a parent and you're seeing this, maybe you're not, we don't know. Try to make it so that they still have this introduction to content. We'll go over why, but still have it moderated. You know, maybe have it like we watch 1 episode a night. I mean, anime is pretty short, so maybe 2 episodes a night.
A big problem with people watching shows like this is that these kind of shows are so dissimilar from all other kinds of shows, like live action, cartoons. Anime is so different that it absorbs people into the show, and they can just watch it all the way through without stopping. And then if they've never seen a show like that before, they might look for another show and watch it all the way through. And then it becomes this thing where you're just watching shows over and over again just to watch shows because it feels good. And that's the beginning of an addiction. And instead of like watching a show, really appreciating it. And I'm not saying that like obsessing over a show is necessarily a bad thing, but it's to a certain extent. Especially when you start being weird.
Oh yeah, you know who? You've probably seen him in schools and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That lunch table that I call 1A.
1A.
I call him when someone has two different My Hero sweatshirts. And
are they the ones where it's just like plastered on?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like real stuff.
It's like a real merch?
I think it's real merch.
I would argue that's better, because I've seen plenty of sweatshirts that are the same design on the front and the back.
It's like a Bakugo hoodie, like of his I guess costume, and that's the tracksuit uniform.
The same person, two different.
Same person.
Okay.
And that whole table is just kind of strange. And so that's why we call them 1A. They got their quirks.
Classroom. Okay.
I haven't told the other guy that. I should tell him that.
Anime often teaches life lessons through storytelling. Can you think of an anime that has significantly impacted your perspective on life, and what did you learn?
Straight up, anime got me to go to the gym. Like, I haven't been able to go recently because around September I had nose surgery, and then one thing after another I was just never able to, and I got out of the habit of going to the gym. Right now I'm trying to get into the habit of doing good things. It's getting warmer, so I'm not going to be freezing when I'm driving to the gym at 4 in the morning, because that's when I went habitually somehow. But anime inspired me because I was like, I see these people that are reaching their goals, right? And
like Asta.
Sure. I mean, I didn't really like that one.
What? Black
Clover's all right. But when it comes to like just being strong, and to me, I want to be strong for people, for the people I care about. And anime does sort of reflect that. You see people getting strong to protect, to fight for what they want. And that's...
Now, of course, this is very exaggerated in the shows, but still.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, it's exaggerated, but I can use this as fuel to start going. And that's genuinely how I started going to the gym. And it wasn't like a winter arc situation. I started in like...
The winter arc.
Yeah, no. It's not my winter arc. I started in like September, and like, maybe not September, like May, June, July, August. And maybe like, September, and then stopped in November.
Are there specific anime that you believe convey strong moral or ethical lessons? Could you share an example where a show has made you reflect on your behavior and or decisions?
No.
I
mean, to me, it's all media, right?
It is media.
And it's just like...
It's all computers inside.
Yeah, that's my joke. But to me, when it comes to physically changing and wanting to reflect, that's on my own, in the shower, or at youth group. And that's when I really like, oh yeah. So like recently I've really come to realize that I need to forgive some people in my life, just move on. I do need to set boundaries, but it's just like, I need to forgive them and just forget all the things that they did, including, still remember that it can be a problem, but just treat them as human, don't treat them as someone who's annoying. But that wasn't from anime. I can't remember a time where anime has, I guess, inspired me morally.
I think that most of the moral lessons that you learn is from church, but then a lot of those moral lessons can also be seen in certain shows.
Mm-hmm. Church does it better.
Church will show you it.
Yeah.
Church introduces it the right way, but then also seeing it in action can help you.
In theoretical over-exaggeration.
And theoretical, super awesome. Yeah.
To me, it comes to like when I have kids, I want to raise them up in what I'm going to call the Beowulf process.
Beowulf.
Beowulf.
Now, what could you possibly mean
So
by
Beowulf was a strong warrior, right? And he was 100% for his people. In the story, it says that when he became king, he was for the people and it was very prosperous. I want my family, just like me, to be for each other and for the people. Like right now, I'm ready to take a bullet for almost anyone. Number one, because that's like a patriotic thing to do.
It is very
Number
patriotic.
two, I don't feel like I would die. I don't know. I don't know.
I won't die.
I don't feel like it. And number three, I don't know. It just seems morally right to me. That's like, hey, I'm gonna kind of put my life on the line. At least when it's me. When it's me,
kind of.
You guys, you might have a problem, but like, I'm gonna put something down to save you, and I want you to realize that.
How do you think anime's ability to teach life lessons through characters and stories compares to traditional teaching or literature?
What do you mean traditional teaching? Do you mean like
you watch a movie and it has some great life lesson that you're gonna implement in your life or something? Because it's just such a cinematic marvel.
I feel like that might actually be better, because when you're watching a movie, it's like 1 hour to 2 hour long thing, and you absorb that full process. In an anime, it's like you have each episode, and then it's like, next episode, and there's that bit of gap between them that kind of breaks it up. So it's not like the story, sure, it's fresh in your mind, but the flow of it, it's kind of chunked.
I would say that depending on what you're watching, I think it would be a superior medium. For example, now neither of us have watched Vinland Saga.
What even is that?
Something.
You'll put it on screen.
But apparently, there's a lot of Christian symbolism, not even symbolism, like straight up. So the English voice actor for Zorro voices some other character, and he reads scripture. Love your enemies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love your enemies, Jared. Yeah, so I think for shows like anime, they're very drawn out. So it's not just like you watch a movie for an hour, and sure, it sits with you for a little while, but eventually you'll forget it. Unlike a show that's drawn out, where ideally you wouldn't watch it all in one sitting. But some might have done that.
Yeah, who could that be? Who could that be? Definitely not me with Jujutsu Kaisen last week. But that was the second time.
Not the first time.
Not the first time.
Based on your experience, do you think anime has positively or negatively impacted your life? Why?
Well, like I said, going to the gym, that's definitely a positive impact. I've definitely seen some creative ideas come into my head for like the things I want to do when I'm older for design, and I can really like take inspiration not just like from the ideas and morals of the show, but also like the art style and the way things move. That's something that I think is pretty cool. And I guess in some anime games that are 3D, I can see like how the 3D models are made, and I can try to base it off of that in my own age-appropriate way.
Considering the potential for anime to either help or hinder one's walk, how do you decide what to watch, and what boundaries or guidelines do you set for yourself?
Evaluate who you are and what you're struggling with, and always ask a friend. A well anime-educated friend.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's you for me.
I don't think I have someone like that.
You don't. You kind of grew up with it, so.
No one that would be a good influence, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think I know who you're talking about.
No. It's just like, I have... So when I was younger, I watched cartoons like everyone else. Well, not everyone else. Some people did.
Most people.
I watched PBS Kids. I watched the good stuff. Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon sometimes. Disney XD, which is peak. But I also watched some children's anime that were like on Netflix. Now, looking back on that, some of them are pretty cheesy. For example, Yu-Gi-Oh! I cannot rewatch Yu-Gi-Oh! No matter how interesting.
No, me neither.
Well, you never saw
I
it.
didn't even like know that was an anime when I was watching it.
I didn't really watch Pokemon. That's probably why I'm not too into it. I watched some of it, but I watched more like things no one's ever heard of before. Like this weird spider anime where they're all riding giant spiders that I still don't know the name of. But
Gotta figure that out.
for the most part, I can kind of evaluate, like, should I be watching this? For example, when our one friend's like, the show is so peak, and I'm like, you're watching a Gooner anime. Yeah.
That one that's buying the figurine.
And you're buying, it's just like, I would rather not watch it because I don't want to be tempted. I don't want that to have a weird impact on my life. And I don't think I'll be worse off because I didn't watch High School DxD or whatever.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm not watching those, but I'm playing that one game because when I'm playing the game, because of the gameplay, I can distract myself from that.
Like, there are certain stories like Eminence in Shadow, which I think is a very interesting story, but it's also one of those fan service the anime.
I mean, if you like the story, then it's not really.
And that one friend that's also telling me to watch High School DxD, his argument is that you shouldn't let fan service...
Sour the anime.
Basically, yeah. And
Too
I think
bad.
that's a decent argument, but some people, like, they can't.
They can't handle it.
You can't handle it. And if you can't handle it, then you shouldn't be watching it.
And that's where we're talking about self-evaluation. It might be hard for you. So if you're a Christian, go talk to your youth leader. They know like the things you're going through. They'll give you some ideas. Maybe talk to your parents if they know. Talk to a friend.
I doubt your parents would know that.
Yeah.
I think my dad watched Death Note once in German.
In German?
In German, because it was for a class. But he never actually watched it all the way through. And then he watched the terrible live action.
Death Note was good.
The live action was not. Considering the potential... Oh, wait, no, I already said that. Do you think it's possible to enjoy anime responsibly, given its diverse content? If so, what steps can viewers take to ensure their anime consumption is healthy and balanced?
I mean, like, limit how many episodes you watch a day. Like we've said many times today.
Don't binge. Probably not a great idea.
Yeah, and also moderate yourself with what kind of content you are watching. If you are gonna dive into a little bit more fan servicey animes, definitely like
Control yourself.
Control yourself. Maybe do some research right beforehand. Like I know IMDb. I don't know if they do animes, but that I use that for
They probably do.
like I use that for when I was watching the Fallout TV show. I was like looking up where's the nudity so I can skip it.
So I can skip.
it.
I've watched some pretty horrendous shows because, I mean, it was just me. I didn't know anyone that watched anime. I thought I was just the only guy ever. So there would be the show on Netflix. I'm like, yeah, I might as well watch it. That's actually how I watched One Piece. I didn't watch One Piece because of the hype. I watched it because I'm like, it's some pirate anime. And it's good. But I've also seen a lot of terrible shows because of that.
Eden Zero.
The Eden Zero was fine.
No, it's not. It's so bad.
The story is just like non-existent.
It doesn't have a story.
That's what I just said.
Go find giant space mommy.
That is the story.
That's the plot.
That's the plot.
It's got an objective, not a story.
Ooh. In your opinion, should someone consider the spiritual and moral implications of the anime they watch? How can someone maintain a balance between enjoyment and mindful consumption?
I think we've already said what we need to say for that question today.
I mean, we did.
I mean, the new thing introduced in that question was the spiritual part. I don't think that's ever been a problem with anime. The closest thing I can think of is like, in terms of spiritual stuff, maybe Jujutsu Kaisen, because, cursed energy, all that.
I don't think
Maybe, but that's not even like, it's just people being too negative.
I've definitely seen some shows that are pretty, like, existential. I don't know why I said that. Pretty existential shows that they weren't even, like, great. I don't even remember what it's called. It was the worst show that I've ever seen. And mainly because the plot had a lot to do with God. And the ending was super sad. It was like morally conflicting. I'm like, what am I watching? There was a lot of existentialism. Is that a word?
I don't know what that is. I don't even know the first part of that word. Whatever root you picked. Whatever root word you picked.
Evangelion. There's a lot of biblical symbolism in Evangelion, even though it has nothing to do with the Bible. Evangelion is very existential. Or at least that's how I felt after I watched it. It was like an emptiness.
Yeah, you straight up came to me and he's like, yeah, I don't want to exist right now.
I don't think I said that exactly.
No, you straight up like, I don't want to die, but I just kind of like not want to exist for a little bit. You know?
Did I say that?
Yeah, you sent me a video on how you felt. And the video was titled "The Feeling of Not Wanting to Exist."
Oh,
literally, like I remember that. I remember how like just kind of like you were that like for that whole week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I've never seen a show that like impacted me like that, and I think it's because of the biblical symbolism in it that kind of like messed with me. Because yeah, it's a depressing anime and a bunch of crazy stuff happens, but I think it's because it kind of messed with me. And I got over it, I think. I hope. Maybe I just forgot. I don't know. Maybe I did forget. So I'm like, what? I said that?
Clearly you did.
Clearly I did.
I mean, yeah, I've seen some, like, I guess, existential or whatever you were talking about.
I don't even know the word.
I know someone, and I kind of wanted to grow closer to them because, you know, they're important in my life, and I have to deal with them. So I wanted to invest in their interests a little bit. So I watched Has-Been Hotel with them. I hate musicals. That's all I have to say. But, you know, you have a lot of...
That's more than a musical.
Yeah. It has a lot of sexual themes, and they're not really okay. And even in the cartoon aspect, it's just like, what's going on here? Why is
weirder in a cartoon aspect?
It is. It is kind of weirder in the cartoon. I just don't even want to see, like, I guess the idea of sinners being saved and going to heaven is kind of like a cool idea. You know, I had this idea for a character who... he wasn't a sinner, he just worked as a demon, right? And it was awful because it's like an office job down in hell. And then somehow he gets his hands on a Bible and he's saved because he reads the Bible and he's like, dude, this stuff's great. And he still kind of looks like a demon because Jesus takes you as you are and he was a demon. So he's kind of like the opposite of a fallen angel. He's like a risen demon. We're not going to call it that.
Is that from the show or is that like...
No, that's my personal idea.
Oh, like, okay.
His code name's The Verdict because he's kind of like a judge. It makes sense for him to hold it, you know? He just kind of he takes the Bible, you know, his armor's called the armor of God.
Really?
It's great.
Put on the full armor of God.
Every day, all the time.
Yep.
It's attached to my underwear.
Is it? So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Watch anime. Do we give recommendations?
We could at the end.
This is good.
I think that if you're on the line, should I watch anime or not? You should. But I wouldn't, especially if you're concerned about what you might see, I would ask someone about what you're watching first and ask them for recommendations.
Probably not Reddit.
Do not ask Reddit.
And maybe you might not even like anime. My dad doesn't like anime because he's just not a fan of the animation and art style. It's got nothing to do with moral implications.
Yes, some people just don't like the art style, which I think is lame, but whatever.
Amen.
Oh yeah, you do that too. Yeah, so should you watch it? Yes, you should watch it. In moderation.
In moderation, as we've said many times.
Now we can go down the list of recommendations if we want to.
I'd say that, you know, these people, you know, they're either going to be like, we're trying to target an audience here of people who don't know much about anime. So if we want to get them started, we should probably go with like something good. I mean, my first anime was Parasite the Maxim. I recommend it as a starting anime if you're like over 14.
It's a little gory.
It's gory, you know, there's some nudity that is story important, but
Not fan service.
It's not fan service at all. But yeah, it's kind of dark.
Definitely.
People die.
People die. Dying is a very big theme in anime. The only way you avoid it is if you watch like comedy anime.
Yeah. And
any genre that isn't a comedy anime or like romance, there's most likely going to be death.
what would you recommend for like younger people? Like let's just say like 12-year-olds.
12?
Sure.
12 is young.
So no anime at 12?
You could there are children anime you could watch.
Pokemon. That's not really anime. I mean, it is, but like, it's not the kind of, oh, you watch anime you're talking about.
I like Digimon when I was younger. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! These are all shows that are definitely for children, and if you're too mature for it, then you're not gonna watch it. But there are a lot of children's anime, and if you go to like Hulu or Disney, because Disney has Hulu shows, and you're a kid's account, you'll see anime that are okay for your age. I think 14 and up, the only stuff that I'll recommend is like gateway anime. It's like it's a gateway drug. Because you're going to get addicted.
Parasite the Mask.
Yeah,
but also, in my personal experience, don't trust the age rating. Eden Zero is rated like, I think it's PG, only for like violence, which there isn't really that in the anime. But there's like this whole arc where, how uncensored can I be describing it?
I'll say it. There's an arc where one of the main characters gets kidnapped, and the main character is a streamer.
A female streamer.
Female streamer. And basically, the kidnappers put them all in this one area. And let's just say they're not wearing a lot of clothes. They're wearing clothes. They're wearing clothes.
What? No, they're not.
They're not?
No.
See that?
They do this foamy bubble stuff that melts it off.
Oh.
But it's not rated for nudity.
Yeah.
Somehow, even though they're all naked.
It's weird. Is that where you stopped watching?
No, I stopped watching at this thing that didn't make sense, where the narrators decide to enter the story, I guess. That's like something you'd do as your 12-year-old. You know, I'm the narrator, but I want to be in my story. It felt like that. I'm like, dude, this is... Man.
May have been written by a 12-year-old. We're kind of hating on it. Don't watch Eden Zero.
Don't watch Eden Zero. That's why I wouldn't really focus on age rating. I mean, it's definitely going to be helpful if it says it's got nudity and stuff.
All right. If you're the age of 14 and up, we're going to start listing shows that you should watch because they're good. Death Note. Death Note it's a very good show, and it's not really anime-esque. Like, it's the only anime part about it is that maybe the internal monologues and some of the facial expressions.
And the art style, of course.
And the art style. But, like, all the other anime aspects, they're not really existent.
The best part is you shouldn't like the main character.
That's true. The main character is not a good guy.
Not a good guy.
But it's a very interesting show, and people that have never seen any anime before have watched it, and they liked it. And maybe they didn't go on to watch other shows, but they watched that one because it was good. Another one, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter. That one.
My G going.
Hunter x Hunter is, on the outside, it's very, like, happy. But then, like, once you actually start watching it, you realize that this is kind of dark and a little serious. And the story is very compelling. Some people say that the first season is boring.
No, it's great.
I think the whole show is very interesting if you watch it going in.
Yeah, the world building's pretty cool. I mean, like, I'd say I really like the first 3 seasons, and then for me, it kind of falls off.
I don't think it falls off.
I mean, season 6, it kind of gets back to what it's doing. I don't think... We're not really going to get more of it, right?
The show ends when Gon is not in it anymore. Like, there's still more. And still being written.
We're not getting more Hunter x Hunter?
Maybe not.
Probably not. So, big sad.
But you can read it.
Good. I can't read.
I can't read.
Yes, I can.
What else? If we can't think of any, I'll just flash some on the screen.
Yeah, they'll be right here. Wow, that's a cool one. This is pretty cool.
I like this one.
I love this one.
Oh. Just loop that a few times.
The game. Yeah, this also applies for, like... I guess a lot of this discussion doesn't just apply for anime. It applies with every kind of media.
Yeah.
But we're talking about anime here.
We are talking about anime. Anime is just another form. It's just another art form. It's just another form of media that's meant to be enjoyed. And basically this whole video is just saying that, well, you watch other stuff, so yeah, you can watch this too. And the same rules that you would put for, like, adult movies would apply here too as well.
Yeah. Very good point. All computers inside.
All computers inside. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I would appreciate a like. You don't need to subscribe because
I'm liking the video.
yeah, I'm sure you'll like the video
yeah.
when it gets dropped.
I'll bot it.
Don't watch any of my other videos. They're terrible. Yeah, see ya.
Good thing you're not linking mine. You can link my brothers though. That'd be funny.
Link some random.
we keep this and like at the end there's bloopers. Hey, my brother's a channel. He does league and stuff. And that was kind of cringe.
No, we're not adding that.
Whenever I get mad at him, I'm gonna call him Iron 4.
Iron 4. I hope this was recording. All right, good, it was.
So.